Hello guys, this is Alias for Alias. Please remember to like and subscribe. Today we are going to talk about how to allocate Paragon points. With Level Up, you can obtain 201 Paragon points, 20 points from Regional Renown rewards, and an additional 4 points from the Altars of Lilith in the Dry Steppes area for a total of 225 points. While it may seem tempting to quickly reach level 100 and then optimize later, this approach would cost approximately 8 million gold for 200 Paragon points based on the exchange rate of around 40,000 gold per point. Therefore, it is more cost-effective to plan and allocate points from the beginning at lower levels. However, don't worry. By following the instructions in this video alone, you will be able to optimize both your DPS and damage reduction. The advantage of this Paragon tree is that you can maximize your DPS regardless of whether you use traps, imbuements, or any other build. First, you need to know that vulnerable damage, critical damage, and dexterity are multiplicative factors, so they should always be prioritized. Additionally, increasing damage from Paragon nodes directly enhances weapon damage, making it a highly significant option that contributes significantly more damage compared to the other damage increasing options. Therefore, it falls under the top priority. After that, physical damage, cutthroat skill damage, damage to healthy enemies, and close enemy damage are additive factors, so they can be prioritized as the second tier. Furthermore, there is no reliance on willpower for fulfilling rare nodes bonus conditions, and it is the least important stat for rogues. Therefore, it should be avoided as much as possible. Now, let's talk about the glyphs we will use: Closer, Combat, Diminish, Exploit, and Turf. The first glyph is Closer. The advantage of Closer is that it provides damage reduction when using melee weapons and increases cutthroat skill damage with each dexterity purchase. Dexterity is the most important stat for rogues, so it allows you to achieve a dual purpose of increasing DPS. The second glyph is Combat. Combat increases critical damage with core skills, so it is recommended to maximize intelligence within the socket range to increase critical damage as much as possible. Intelligence increases critical strike chance, making it the second most important stat after dexterity. The third glyph is Diminish. We use this glyph because among the rare nodes affected by the socket range, there is only one board that increases vulnerable damage called Exploit Weakness. Additionally, it provides damage reduction against vulnerable enemies, making it a very useful glyph. While Efficacy glyph also enhances rare nodes, the efficacy may vary, depending on the build, whereas damage reduction becomes overwhelmingly crucial as the tier increases. Therefore, it is essential to use Diminish. The fourth glyph is Exploit. Exploit is one of the two most important glyphs alongside Combat. It increases vulnerable damage, so you should maximize strength within the socket range to maximize vulnerable damage. Additionally, it has a bonus condition that makes enemy vulnerable, making an excellent glyph. The last glyph is Turf. Turf glyph increases damage to close enemies with each strength purchase, and as a bonus condition, it provides close enemy damage reduction. Since most of current rogue builds use dual-wielded weapon instead of bows, it is important to consider close enemy damage and damage reduction. Even if you use a bow in PvP areas, you still need to shoot at close range to hit multiple times with skills like a barrage, so close enemy damage reduction is crucial. Although it is good to have increased close enemy damage, it is not essential, but damage reduction becomes increasingly important as you try high-tier nightmare dungeons, so it is recommended to invest points in that. Strength is not a bad stat, as it increases armor and resource generation. However, compared to dexterity and intelligence, its importance is lower. Therefore, there is no need to maximize strength within the socket range. It is recommended to prioritize easily obtainable strength points that fulfill the bonus conditions. Now, let's take a look at the starting board. Within the starting board socket range, there are 7 intelligence, 14 dexterity, and 7 strength nodes. The dexterity 10 in the rare nodes is calculated as 2 dexterity nodes. This board is the second highest in terms of dexterity among the 5 boards introduced in this video. As you can see, the prime rare nodes is selected, while the Resilience rare node is not. Unlike in Diablo 3, in Diablo 4, all resistance is not as important as armor. Since we'll be using the closer glyph in this board, it is important to allocate as much dexterity as possible efficiently. Additionally, as mentioned before, the damage increased magic nodes are highly significant, which is why all the damage increased magic nodes have been selected. The second board is No Witness. It is fine to not rotate the boards except for the last one. Within the socket range of this board, there are 8 intelligence, 9 dexterity, and 10 strength nodes. This board has the highest amount of strength among the 5 boards. Therefore, the crucial glyph to use in this board is Exploit, and all the strength stats within the socket range must be allocated. The most efficient way to allocate strength is as you see. The reason for using this board is not because of the legendary node, but rather because of the rare node Ruin. Ruin provides critical damage similar to Havoc from the Tricks of the Trade, making it one of only 2 critical damage nodes among the entire Paragon boards. Additionally, there are 2 adjacent magic nodes that increase critical damage, therefore selecting this board is crucial for maximizing critical damage. The third board is Chip Shot. This board is considered least important among the 4 additional boards used in this video. However, the other 4 boards not used in this video, Eldritch Bounty, Deadly Ambush, Leyrana's Instinct, and Cunning Stratagem, are boards that vary based on skill trees and specializations. Compared to Chip Shot, they are not as efficient. Eldritch Bounty is a focused imbuement board, while Deadly Ambush, except for the legendary node, is not very efficient. Leyrana's Instinct, except for the nimble node in the middle, is generally considered a trash board. Cunning Stratagem is relatively decent, but it only has the rare nodes Dominant and Finisher. However, combining various boards can lead to average results, and the final board has high bonus condition requirements resulting in minimal benefits. The Chipshot board has a condition of crowd control, but it provides a significant damage increase against enemies affected by crowd control. Additionally, the board shape itself is very efficient, which makes it important even though it is considered least important among the other 3 remaining boards. Within the socket range of the Chipshot board, there are 7 intelligence, 15 dexterity, and 7 strength nodes. It has the 3rd highest intelligence count after No Witness and Exploit Weakness. However, since No Witness requires strength for Exploit, and we need to use Diminish in Exploit Weakness to maximize vulnerable damage, we use the Combat Glyph in this board. The most efficient way to allocate intelligence is as you see. As you can see, there's hardly any waste, even when allocating all the intelligence nodes. Additionally, the rare node's Oppress has a critical damage increase option against crowd-controlled enemies, so it must be allocated. In fact, I chose Calculated not because it is necessary, but because it efficiently utilizes the remaining points. It provides better efficiency than Spearhead, which deals damage to healthy enemies. However, with an armor increase of 100 and a 45% damage increase against crowd-controlled enemies, the damage amplification effect is clearly visible. The 4th board is Exploit Weakness. This board is the most important one as it allows you to increase vulnerable damage. The Exploit rare node, which increases vulnerable damage, must be selected, and all the magic nodes gathered here must also be chosen. Additionally, since the unassailable node is very close to the path leading to the legendary node, it should also be selected. As it reduces damage taken from vulnerable enemies, it is almost the same as regular 8% damage reduction for a rogue who applies vulnerability in almost all situations. Within the socket range of this board, there are 9 intelligence, 13 dexterity, and 7 strength nodes. Although intelligence is the highest in this board, there is an important rare node called Artifice, which increases vulnerable damage. Using Diminish here becomes highly efficient due to Artifice. Diminish provides not only an increase in rare node attributes, but also a physical damage reduction of 10% against vulnerable enemies, making a crucial glyph. There are also many magic nodes that increase vulnerable damage here. Devious, Fluidity, and Versatility grants a 150% bonus to magic nodes, resulting in a total of 22.5% additional vulnerable damage from 3 magic nodes. By using Efficacy or Diminish, vulnerable damage can be increased by an additional 25%. The importance of Diminish includes not only the 25% vulnerable damage increase, but also the Dexterity bonus of 25 from the 2 rare nodes. However, as mentioned earlier, the advantage of Diminish lies in its significant damage reduction against high-tier Nightmare Dungeon enemies. The last board is Tricks of the Trade. When adding this board, it should be rotated twice. In this board, there is a rare node called Havoc, which along with Ruin, is one of only 2 rare nodes that provides critical damage increase. Moreover, it can increase critical damage by a whopping 30%, including the additional bonus. It is important to allocate all the critical damage nodes in this board. Within the socket range of this board, there are 5 Intelligence, 14 Dexterity, and 7 Strength nodes. The Turf Glyph used here is not primarily for close enemy damage, but to receive 10% damage reduction against close enemies. Therefore, allocate strength efficiently without the need to allocate all of them. Of course, as the level of the Turf Glyph increases, allocating 1 strength here may provide better efficiency than allocating 1 magic node. So, it is recommended to allocate the easily obtainable strength nodes. And I'll show you the overall flow. That concludes the guide on allocating Paragon nodes. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thank you.